The Government Inspector. Act 1, Scene 1. A room in the mayor's house. Governor. I have called you here, gentlemen, as I have received a very unpleasant piece of news. There's an Inspector General coming. Judge and Charity Commissioner. What? An inspector? Governor. Yes, an inspector from Petersburg, incognito. He also has some secret instructions. Judge. Well, I'm surprised. Charity Commissioner. I think it's our turn. Luka Lukic, the school director. What are these secret instructions? Governor. What a bad omen. I was dreaming all last night about two hideous rats. I never saw such savages before. They sniffed me and then left. Anyway, I read you the letter which I received from my friend Andrei Ivanovich Shmikov to the Charity Commissioner CSA. You know him. This is what he says. My dear friend, my companion and patron. He mutters rapidly the first few sentences. Ah, that's it. I accelerate to alert you that an official has been sent with instructions to inspect the entire province, and your district in particular. I have known about his arrival from a candid source, though the man assumes to be a private person. Thus, I know you have your own few flaws like the rest of us. So I'd recommend you take precautions, as he may come any minute if he has not already arrived, and is staying somewhere incognito. Judge. But it's not normal, simply extraordinary. There must be some reason for it. Luka says. May I know, Anton Antonovich, why they sent us an inspector? Governor sighing. This is our destiny, I presume. We have to thank God. They have checked out the towns, and this is our turn. Judge. In my point of view, Anton Antonovich, there's a political reason beyond this visit. Let me tell you that it's Russia. Yes, it's Russia. Russia is about to have a war. That's why the government sent us an investigator to see if there is any treason. Governor, you've interpreted it. You know many things. Treason in an inland town. We are too far from the borders. It takes many years to gallop from here to reach a foreign country. Judge, of course not. I'll explain to you as you don't understand it. The government is very precise. The government officials study everything carefully and in detail. It may be far away. However, it notices every little thing. Governor. It may or may not. Anyway, my dear gentlemen, I've warned you. We are skating on thin ice. That's why I have made some arrangements myself. And I advise you to follow me. You in particular. Artemy Filipovich, to the Charity Commissioner. There's no doubt that the supposed inspector will want to visit your hospital as the first priority. Of course, there's no need to tell you that you should put everything in order. For instance, make sure that the nightcaps are clean and the sick people don't look like dustmen. Charity Commissioner, it's an easy task. They will have clean nightcaps if you wish so. Governor, to the doctor. I think this is your business, Christian Ivanovich. I should also write over each bit a medical report for each patient in Latin or any other language to show the patient's medical case. When they arrived at the hospital and such matters, can you ask such filthy sufferers to stop smoking tobacco? I always choke once I come in. You should decrease the number, as long as there are so many of them. The inspector will relate this to bad supervision or unskillful doctoring. Charity Commissioner. I and our great doctor have settled the matter of medication. The nearer we get to nature, the better, as we don't provide costly medicines, and man is a simple affair. If he dies, he dies. If he gets well, then he gets well. And it wouldn't be easy for the sick people and the doctor to understand one another. He doesn't know a word of Russian. Governor. To the judge, my advice to you, Amos Fyodorovich, is to pay your attention to the courthouse buildings. There's the antechamber, where the petitioners usually wait. You have allowed the attendants to breed poultry there. Whenever you enter this small barn, the ducklings and goslings keep poking their beaks amongst people's legs. I must admit that breeding poultry is a praiseworthy habit, and there's no objection for that. But only as you see the courthouse is in the appropriate place for that. I wanted to give you a hint earlier, but I always forgot. Judge, don't worry, my lord. I'll order my men to take all these birds to the kitchen. I'd like to invite you to dinner today. It'll be a delicious treat. Governor, in addition to that, there's another issue concerning the court chamber, which is full of garbage of all kinds. I want to know why there were a whip and some hunting tools scattered everywhere among the papers. I know you're taken to hunting and sport, but you have to choose the right time and place for your hobbies. And when the inspector departs our province, you can return everything again. Then let me tell you about our assistant. Let me tell you about your assistant. Of course, he is an educated man, but he is always drunk. He gives out strong smell of alcohol, as if he had just come out of a factory of wine. This also is unacceptable. I intended to inform you these matters long ago, but it got out of my memory. Try to find some sort of therapy for such attitude, and if the matter as your clerk claimed that it's his natural weakness point, you can advise him to eat garlic or onions. The doctor also can find a solution to such odor. Judge, I'm afraid we can't get rid of it. It's not possible because he says that his nurse knocked him down when he was a child, and ever since he has this smell. Governor, well, I just played the role of a reminder. I wanted to mention it about your policy in court and what my friend calls in his letter few flaws. Although I don't understand what it means, every human being has some sins. Judge, what do you mean by sins? Anton Antonovich. Of course, there are some sins. I have to admit that I take bribes, and I confess it clear to everyone. But what sort of bribes? Worthless bribes. So there's no issue. Governor, even if they are worthless, it's still bribery. Judge, I disagree with you, Anton Antonovich. For example, if someone takes a coat worth 500 rubles or a shawl for his wife. Governor crossly, what do you mean? These words won't benefit you or save you from being bribed. Moreover, you are not a religious person comparing to me. I'm very pious. Judge, I disagree with you, Anton Antonovich. I only think for myself. These are my opinions. Governor, it's not good to think a lot. Too much knowledge sometimes spoils your brain. Anyway, I just gave you some comments about the courthouse. But to be honest, I don't think that there's anyone would be likely to look into it, as the place is very important and deserves respect. And you, Luka Lukic, as director of educational institutions, should supervise your teachers. There's no doubt that they are well-educated people in all types of colleges, but they have very strange attitude. Maybe that's something normal with educated people. I'm not aware of that. There is a plump teacher, I forgot his name. He always makes strange movements with his body and uses his body language awkwardly. It doesn't matter if he does this with students, but I guess there will be a problem if he annoys our visitor with such habit. SS School Superintendent. What should I do? I talked to him about this matter several times. The last time was when the minister visited us. This teacher made very fearful facial expressions to our honorable guest. Furthermore, people complained that he filled their children's minds with very strange ideas. Anyhow, I'll try with him again to solve the problem. Governor, let me also tell you about the history teacher. He is very knowledgeable. He's aware of his subject well. But his lecture is full of so much hate to the extent that no one understands anything. Once I attended his class, he was talking about some battles which happened around the globe. Everything was right until it came to Alexander the Great. He forgot himself. I thought that the class was on fire, and the war began. He leaped up from his desk, snatched the chair from under the student. He kept waving the chair in the air. Then he banged it on the floor, shouting that Alexander was a hero. Of course, we all know this piece of information, but why destroying the school's property? And the government will pay for his destruction. SS. Indeed, he always turns to be an extremist. I have warned him many times. He justifies his own behavior by saying that he does this uncontrollably for the sake of education and learning. Governor. Oh, what a law of life! To have clever men who are originally insane. They either drink or make strange facial expressions, or they are so enthusiastic to the degree of madness. We should act quickly, as this cursed incognito may look in any moment and say, "Ah, so you're here, my fellow. And who's the judge here? Lyapkin Tyapkin? Well, bring Lyapkin Tyapkin here then. And who is that charity commissioner? Zimlyanika? Pull Zimlyanika too. It's something terrible."